when you get your home and your life in order, wealth starts flowing. You are unkinking the hose when you have order. When there's chaos and there's indecision and clutter, and I call it lukewarmness. You're not sure if you're coming or going or what you want. You're kind of this, you're kind of that. It's such a fuzzy signal that you're putting out. And when you have that, when you live in that fuzziness for a long period of time, you start to attract more fuzziness, more chaos. Now, this isn't just like, oh, the law of attraction. It's a biblical principle that you're reaping what you're sowing. And specifically getting clarity on what you want, getting clarity on how you want to live, getting clarity on what you believe in, what you're promoting, what you're for, what you're against, and just cleaning up areas of your life. Like not tolerating things anymore that you know are pulling you in directions that you know you shouldn't be going in, or entertaining and engaging in things of lower value or in things of lower areas. Like basically getting out of the nonsense and streamlining and simplifying your life. You're going to find so much more clarity, abundance, and wealth is going to follow you. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, just start with an area in your home. Start with a closet, start with a drawer, a desk, an office, a kitchen drawer, your kids' rooms, your kids' clothes, the basement, storage, attic, like any area that you know is producing this kind of fuzziness or this chaos, or you're like, oh, I have to get to that storage, or I'm saving these clothes for one day, or just tackle one area at a time. Start getting order. The more you streamline and the more you simplify your life, the more elevated your life becomes, because you're not pulled in all these different directions, and you're not a slave to those things anymore. Those things don't have power over you anymore. Your storage isn't beckoning you to come in and dig through it. The closets aren't bursting full. So you are then taking control instead of allowing those areas and those spaces to control you. And it's difficult because things can get out of order. Like when you're in the middle of purging, there's so much disorder. So just be prepared for that. It's normal. So don't be scared. It's going to happen. But that's just part of the process when you're on your way to really streamlining and simplifying and getting the home in order. So, it's just like if somebody's going in for surgery, it's going to be a mess in the middle of that surgery until it's complete. An artist who paints a picture, it's probably not going to look great until the picture's complete. It's going to be messy. The process is messy. So just be prepared for that type of process as you're on your way to simplify and streamline. I find that simply having my clothes having space on the hangers in the closet makes like a world of a difference. Just that, when things are like shoved in the closet and it's not color coordinated and you can't get to what you want because there's no space between, just that simple purge of opening up some space so you can really see what you have and allowing the clothes to move and color coordinating them, that makes like a huge difference. Like in your drawers, not having all this old stuff, just like how many pairs of socks do you actually need? How many pairs of PJs do you actually need? And just simplifying those areas, it allows you to not only keep what you love, but you're raising your standards for yourself. Like you're saying, I'm worthy and I'm worth having the best of the best. So instead of me having, 50 pair, a good example, my grandpa used to like sunglasses and he lost them a lot, but I think he lost them because they were cheap and he didn't care. So he didn't take care of them. So he'd have these sunglasses and he would buy he'd go to the dollar store and he would buy 20, 30 pair of sunglasses, and he had a drawer full and they were always all scratched up, beat up or whatever. And one day I asked him, I said, well, what if you just had 3 pair of really nice ones? I bet you wouldn't lose them. I bet you wouldn't sit on them because you would take care of them. And so instead of having all of these junky pair that probably didn't have the UV protection anyways for your eyes, just get a couple nice pair. Same thing with purses. My grandma was that way. She loved having all these different purses. She didn't wear hardly any of them except for a handful, but she had a closet full of probably 60 or 70 purses for different outfits, different styles, different things. And I just thought, look how much space they're taking up. And sometimes she would grab one and they would all fall down on her and they're all over the floor. And then she'd try to sort them and organize. Oh, I forgot about this one. This one's a nice one. What do you think? So she just the time that is spent digging through stuff and having so much of all of this stuff, like, you're trading your life for that. And so when you simplify and you streamline, you allow yourself to say, no, I'm just going to have a few nice things that I love. You're elevating your standards. You're coming up to a higher level, and you're basically getting clearer about what it is that you are in alignment with and what you are not aligning yourself with. And when you do that, when things of lower value come, you know automatically, no, I'm not going to entertain that. I'm not going to engage in that. This has to do with everything in life, like music, concerts, TV shows, certain clothes, certain styles, certain trends, the way that people talk, vulgar language, what people allow, like beverages that are just like trash that people are drinking, or really low quality foods and beverages. You're like, no, I'm not gonna eat that. Like, I haven't been to McDonald's. My son he's 15. He's had McDonald's once or twice in his life. And he said, I think the only time he could remember was 3 years ago. He came home and he said, my husband took him, he said, I had McDonald's for the first time in my life. I said, yeah, what'd you think of it? And he was like, it tasted good, but he felt like junk after. So he remembered how he felt after he ate it. But he knows now that's why we don't eat at those places. We don't eat at Taco Bell. We don't eat at McDonald's. We're not running through the drive-thru, because once you raise your standards, there's no way you're going to put that garbage in your body. Like, you're just like, no way. It's just, you get to a point where you're like, I'd rather not eat than eat that. Okay, if you're super, super starved and you haven't eaten for days, you're going to eat it. Of course, it's going to taste delicious. But you get what I'm saying. You just come up to a level where things that your old self used to tolerate, engage in, be involved in, you no longer are tolerating anymore. Gossiping, family drama, that's like the worst. The worst. Being involved in family garbage, family drama, everybody's problems, the gossip circle that families can have. Get yourself out of that if you're stuck in that. Shut the phone off. Block those people. You do not owe those people your life, your time, your ear. And you don't have to be involved. You don't have to be engaged in that nonsense and in those lower things. And let them do whatever, but pull yourself out if you can. Once you wake up from certain things, once you wake up from Halloween and you realize that Halloween is dark, demonic, full of witchcraft and wickedness and evilness, you would never decorate your house with Halloween. It's like, you're never going to entertain those lower things. I would never trade money to buy a skeleton. I would never trade my money to buy skulls. I would never trade my money to buy bats and crows and all this wicked stuff. You would realize, like, you are trading what you've worked for, which is your time in your life, right? You're trading your life, you're trading your time, you went to work for those things to then buy junk, and then to surround yourself with things that are bringing in darkness into your home. Like, once you elevate your standards and you elevate what it is that you're going to tolerate, you will not go back. You will see so clear, like, I am not allowing this type of stuff anymore. And I got to that point years ago, specifically with like Halloween. I did about 6 years ago, but around that time it kind of will start happening like one after the other. But around the family drama, that was a constant battle in my life. And finally I got to the point where I said, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I am not going to be a part of this. It's turning me into somebody that I have to ask forgiveness for every single day, because I know I'm living in sin, because I'm allowing it, because I'm talking about it, because I'm engaging in it, because I'm participating in it, because I'm taking part in it. And it was really just affecting my relationship with the Lord. And it was really turning me into somebody who I did not want to be. And I thought, I just can't be engaged. I can't be involved. I can't be one with these people. I can't be that. And so I've had to put up some boundaries, sever some relationships, and let some of these people continue on their way and without me. And that's fine. And I continued on my way without them. And it's a beautiful thing. When you let go of lower things to serve God and to do what's right, He will bless you for that. It's like, once you start separating these areas, your clarity heightens, your spiritual discernment heightens. You start seeing things very clear, and you're like, wow, I can't believe it's interesting. And it'll start happening kind of a little at a time. I started like when I stopped celebrating Halloween, then I took my kids to a trunk or treat. I thought, well, I'll take them to it. They were still little. I was like, I'll take them to a church thing. But even then, that didn't sit well with me. And even the trunk or treats, some of the little trunks were super scary. And then I thought, well, why are these churches engaging in this? And then I started questioning almost everything. So I became aware of different things, like discerning of different things, and thought, you know what, I shouldn't be involved in this at all. I shouldn't be bringing them around this at all. Not even to the church, not even to any of this. And when I stopped, my kids were actually thankful because they didn't want to go anyways. They didn't care. It was a battle trying to get the candy. It was like, oh, you can't eat that. You know, you're eating too much candy. And then they get sick. And then they'd be like, why do I feel like sick? And then, you know, you're entering into the holidays and none of them feel good. And you really have to be on guard. I remember one time I went to the mall here in Phoenix. I went to an Aveda store. Kids were little. Well, I said, let's go look at these puppies. They had like a little store that had like these little puppies in it. And on the way walking out, there was a kiosk. And this girl goes, oh, do your kids want a sucker? I was not spiritually discerning at that time, I guess, or heightened, not tightened. And I said, oh, sure. Gave him a sucker. I said, oh, thank you. And then I said, wasn't that nice? My kids pulled the wrapper off. I looked and I thought, the wrapper came off really easy. And something didn't sit well with me. And they all put the suckers in their mouth. And we got to the car and I thought, and they were little, like 3, 5, and, you know, those ages. And I thought, something's not right. And so I said, you know what? Everybody give me those suckers. We're going to spit those out. We're not going to have those. They all got sick. All 3 of them. And when later on, I knew, my spirit knew that girl or whatever had put something in, there was something. Either there was a curse on them, either they were infected with something, germs, something, and they had to put the wrappers back on. And that's what people do. And I thought, here's these moms going out accepting candy from strangers all the time at Halloween. You have no idea. You can't even see. So I saw that the wrappers, this was the middle of the day at the mall, but when you're out Halloween, you can't see. You don't know who's who. People are dressed up. You don't know if that's a demon giving them whatever that is. And now it's even worse because so much candy is laced with fentanyl, disease. Like, it's not only is it super toxic, but now it's super dangerous. So this is why I advise moms, like, don't even do it. When you think your kid's going to be missing out, they are not going to be missing out. It's your job to protect them. But all you can do is do your part. You can share the truth. You can walk a straight line. You can say, I'm not going to allow this. There's certain areas that you can get in order in your life. It's really about getting your life, getting your house in order, getting things in order. If you have so many loose ends that need to be tightened up and buttoned up, don't start something else. You know, there's that saying that if you're trying to cut down too many trees at one time, you're not going to be effective. You need to focus on the task at hand, one task at a time. Go all in on that one task and get that done first. And once you get one task done, then you can move on to the next. Or maybe you have one like 90% done and then you have one in the beginning stages. But you don't want to have like 10, 20 tasks all in the beginning stages. If you have too many things and you're just starting all of those things, like let's say you have 5 projects and you're like, I'm going to accomplish all these 5 projects. And you're in the beginning stages of all these 5 projects. You're not going to accomplish all of them. You need to make sure that you've got one up and running, one going, one in the 70, 80, 90%, 100% completion. It's running on itself. It's complete. It's done. You've mastered that before you begin another one, or have them in different stages. So you're not, trying to, it's like you're not going to have 5 startup companies at one time. You're going to have one, right? And then you're going to get that one up and running. Then you're going to work on another one. Or maybe when you're halfway through another one, you work on another one, but it's got to have money coming in. It's got to be producing before you start. So make sure whatever tasks that it is that you're working on, that it's working, that it's functioning, that it's up and running, that it's producing, that it's, if you got to tackle the home, don't try to tackle your diet and the home at the same time. Okay. Like, get one thing in order first. If you need to tackle the relationships, or your marriage, don't try to tackle the home and then, work on your marriage at the same time. It's give yourself one big task and then kind of work on the other ones a little bit on the side. That's what I would suggest anyways. Otherwise, you're going to have too many big to-dos, and then you're not going to complete because you're going to feel beat up. Like, oh, I'm trying to get in shape. I'm trying to fix my marriage. I'm trying to work on my house. I'm trying to just pull my kids out of school. Now I'm homeschooling. And you're attempting all of these different life changes at one time, trying to fix everything all at one time. Work on one thing first and then go to the next. Master that thing. So if you have an issue with, like, let's say you're drinking coffee before protein, okay? A lot of people do that. They wake up and they have coffee. Stop doing that. You're messing up your hormones, you're boosting your cortisol, and you're putting on weight. Protein first, okay? So get that down first before you're doing other things. So you're going to wake up. Let's say you're going to have maybe almond butter toast with banana and some hemp seed or chia seed on it, okay? And with the toast, use like Ezekiel bread and maybe a hard-boiled egg. There's some protein, okay? Or maybe you want to have Greek yogurt with a little bit of drizzle of honey and some egg whites and some blueberries in the yogurt. There's your protein. Wait 30 minutes, have your coffee. That one move is a game changer, just switching that thing around. So you get that task down. Let's say you do that for a couple weeks and you're like, okay, I'm feeling good. My body's responding good. I feel good. I'm not, you just feel things shifting. Then you can start something else. Now you're like, okay, now I need to work on drinking some electrolyte water, not just water, but you need some salt in there. You need some potassium, magnesium, your sodium. Okay, now you're shifting that. So maybe you're like, okay, now I need to work on, maybe I'll drink more water and I'll go for an extra walk. So you're adding things in as you're focusing on that one big goal. You're not like, oh, I'm going to do all this at one time. And I mean, you could try that way. Some people like to just flip it all upside down and do it all at one time. But if you do that, just make sure you're focused. You're doing that in one main area. It's not multiple areas. It's not like, health, gotta get myself in order, gotta get my house in order, got kids, got, my spouse, gotta do this, business, I'm got paying off all this debt. This is like the Dave Ramsey thing where he would say, pay off one, let's say you have 5 credit cards, right? He says, start on the smallest one, get that one paid first, do the minimums on the other. It's exactly what I'm talking about in life. You start on one, you get that done. While you're still making the minimums, you're not neglecting the other ones. So for example, you're starting on one big task, you're not neglecting everything else, but your main focus is on that one. The extra effort is going towards that one big task. Then you get that done, and then you move on to the other one. That's how you're going to win, and that's how you're going to make progress. It's not going to be, well, I'm just going to pay a little bit on each one. No, you have to put all of the emphasis like a gazelle on one task, one thing. I'm going all in on this one thing until I complete it, until it's done, until I get to whatever goal it is on that one thing. And then you're doing a little bit on the other ones. So that is how you're going to make progress. If you start that now, you start getting an order now, you're going to be way ahead in 2026. Don't wait till the beginning of the year and then say, I'm going to start my New Year's resolution. And then it's halfway through January and the end of January. And then you're like, well, I'll start in the spring cleaning. And then it's summer. Just get started on something that you know you need to tend to. Get it in order. And you'll be so glad you did. And go for a walk. As you're doing it, go for some walks. Walks, game changer for your life, your health, your nervous system. Just walk 10 minutes. If you're going to walk after every meal, 10 minutes, it's so good for you. You will feel better, look better, age better, sleep better. It's just a beautiful thing. So have a great night.